Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, we're doing this kind of fun, what I'm calling a fall look. I don't know, I super love it. It is using the September Rose Brew eyeshadow palette. The lovely palette looks like this. Well, let's get on started with this video. Okay, so the brush that I'm starting with, this is an e.l.f. brush, but it's just kind of, if you can see, it's basically a thin brush. I mainly want to use a brush like this to be able to draw in kind of my cut crease. I'm going to start with the shade Spiced Chai. I try to go where my bone structure kind of is. Alright, kind of dust it off. Next I'm going to take the Red Velvet shade, using the exact same brush, just connect it, and I'm going to kind of bring it out. I'm going to go in a little bit more with that Spiced Chai, the orangey kind of shade, just to build that up and kind of get a nice gradient. Okay, so after I basically replicated it on the other side, I'm going to go ahead and go in with the shade Pumpkin Spice and take it just above Spiced Chai. And I'm kind of starting to blend those using still the exact same brush. I'm going to take it over to the Red Velvet shade. Start doing the exact same thing. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, so it's completely up to you. I think I'm going to take the shade Tea Latte, that's like a lightish color. Now, of course, if it complements your skin tone, you can take Pumpkin Spice all the way to the top. Whatever. You honestly don't even have to add anything if you don't want to. Some people do find it easier to have another shade. I'm dipping back into a little bit more of that Pumpkin Spice, just to kind of layer up between the two, to get kind of a nice color gradient. Okay, just for a little bit more dimension, I'm just going to go back with the same colors over in the areas, just to make sure that then I have the kind of pigmentation that I'm looking for. Alright, I don't want to go too crazy and they've already messed it up or whatever. What I like to do now is actually cut the crease. I'm just taking foundation. The foundation that I love to use is Juvia's Place. I just like it. It's super full coverage. It's the regular foundation I use anyways. But I just like, I don't know, I feel like it works. But anyways, so I'm just taking a concealer brush. This is just a Morphe, but any concealer brush will work. And just kind of following the shape I've created. Now, granted, you can do the thing that, you know, I do sometimes, a lot of other people do, you kind of paint your lid in, look up, and follow the transfer. Definitely can do that. I feel like this just, it feels a bit more easy for me when I kind of already pre-figure out the shape I'm going for. This step will usually take me a couple of minutes, but something that I like with doing this as well is I don't tend to like go and, you know, I know some people like to kind of cut the shape and then completely clear it and all of that. I don't tend to do that, at least not currently. So I like to just do this. I think this is okay. And then usually I'll just use a brush. This is just a Real Techniques brush. I think it's like an eyeshadow brush, just to blend out the rest of that foundation, because more than likely I'm going to fill this outer edge in with an eyeshadow. One thing you can do, or I should actually do, what do I want to do now? Hell yeah, why not? Get it done. I love this brush a lot. This is the e.l.f. Fluffy Eye Blender brush. I mainly like it for these inner portions of my eye. It really works to diffuse the color for me. I feel like it just, do you see that? I feel like it just softens it way better. We can use another brush that I have. Here, let's use this one. Hopefully it's like decent lighting. This is a Morphe M441 brush. I'm gonna see if this does the same thing, just in case I'm like crazy and I just need to use a bit more of a fluffy brush. I guess they both work. So a large fluffy brush. I don't tend to use these kind of brushes that much, but maybe for blending out the inner corner, I think I just like how this one is. I don't know, it just seems lighter. Sorry, I know I got gray on my nose from my brush. Don't judge me. Cool, I think that's gonna work. Alright. Take the lovely NYX Glitter Eyeshadow Primer. I'm just gonna put a little bit of that back up in my hand. You can use any kind of brush. I like these kind of flat, I feel so YouTuber-y. These flat, small kind of eyeshadow brushes. This is a Morphe M124. Let's go ahead and just apply this to the lid. Totally random tidbit to throw in here. Sorry if it seems that I talk about or have a lot of Morphe brushes. When they were big, I did buy some of the kits that they had, and yeah, so they are what I have right now. A part of me just wants to use what I have up, so just, you know, use whatever you want. I'm not saying that I endorse Morphe or whatever. It literally is what I have to use. So, and again, I don't really feel the need to, or not buy different brushes if I don't need to. Alright, I'm thinking of swatching the two shimmels to see what I like. So I got Cold Brew, and we have Iced Tea. I feel like Iced Tea is a bit more like pizzazzy. So let's dip into Iced Tea. Totally is up to you. I haven't decided if I want to take this color all the way in the inner corner, so we might wait for right now. I'm gonna take it about midway of my pupil. I think that's the right word. So I'm just gonna kind of stamp. I'm gonna stop right when I get to the inner corner of my eye, because I do think I'm gonna go in with a different shade from a different palette. The shade I decided to use, I've been addicted to this shade. If you by chance checked out my depotting my Norvina palettes, basically I depotted all of the ABH Norvina palettes. ABH again is not a brand that I can't think of the word. I don't endorse them, or whatever you want to call it, but at one point I was buying a lot of their stuff, so again, I'm trying to use it up. And this shade came from this palette originally. It is the shade A1. It's just a super pretty, kind of sparkly color. I'm colorblind, so I have no idea. I like it, works for my skin tone, and it looks pretty. It is swatched right there, so you can see that. Cool. Okay. So using my same little flat brush, I'm gonna pick up some of this shade and just apply it to the inner corner. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, this shade's so pretty. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and fill in this like outer corner area. I'm gonna use a loose leaf from the palette. I would not, same brush, sorry, from before. I would not say this is a black. I don't know if it's trying to be a black, to be honest. It's kind of, it literally, my brain registers it almost as like, you think like black tea or something. It kind of literally reminds you of that. I don't know. So I am just going to kind of create a wing shape. And then what I'm going to do is the, I don't know what this is called, but this outer portion of my eye, the colored part, that's kind of where I'm going to stop. Alright, so we did that. I actually feel like this shade did pretty well. Next, what I want to do is blend the top of the red and the black together. So I'm just going to use, this is the Morphe M433 brush. It's kind of a medium-sized dummy kind of brush. Try to soften those two shades together. Moving on, now we need to fill in the rest of the eye. So, I am going to be taking from this palette. I don't think I've ever talked about this brand on my channel before, except in my eyeshadow, like, collection. There you go. This is the Loud and Proud palette from CXC Beauty. This palette is, like, if I'm honest, I like the idea, and it's a indie brand, smaller, whatever. Anyways, I wouldn't say these are bad, I just don't unfortunately use this palette a lot, but as I've been trying to use more of my makeup, I did play around with this palette, and I did really like the two shades here, this red and this orange. So the red, what I do like about this brand, at least for this collection, they pop out, sorry, what am I trying to say, but it's the shade Freedom, and then the orange is the shade Respect. I think I'm going to use that exact same e.l.f. brush, and we're going to start off with the red one, Freedom, and just stamping that shadow in. It's going to kind of lay it on the black, or whatever, the shade Loose Leaf. Loose Leaf. I noticed with more metallic-y shades, they blend in a bit better with matte shades than a shimmer shade, which is something I really like. Because I feel like, I don't know if you can tell, I don't think it looks too bad. I think it's blending in really well. So pretty. It'll look prettier obviously when we clean it up. Don't you fret. Then to match, we're gonna take the orange Respect to fill it in the rest of the way. And you can just see that literally basically just blended itself. Now, one thing you may notice, I notice, is my inner corner here, the matte orangey shadow, is fading a little bit. So, kind of getting wiped off my brush, I'm going to pick up that orangey shade Sweet Chai in the palette. Let's kind of fill it back in, just so we don't lose that intensity. Oh yeah. Let's take our e.l.f. brush again, the one that we used to blend out the inner corner originally. Just gonna try to be a little bit more light-handed with that. I think that's looking a lot better. Cool. Okay, so what I will do for the edge is I do like to clean it up with some makeup remover. Currently I've been using Garnier, whatever, makeup remover, again, just on a washcloth. And I am cleaning up the edge. Play random, if anybody knows of a good, cruelty-free micellar water kind of situation, please let me know. I do need to try Pacifica's. I did try the, what's that brand? Oh, I forget. It's like the cheaper, it's supposed to like natural or something. I think it's like in a Simply, I do not like Simply. It works okay. It doesn't work very well for me. I like this one because it works. Also, one that I use because I don't think this is cruelty free, unfortunately. And I did like I can't even think of the brand, but I did like another micellar water, but again, I'm pretty sure when I looked it up, it's not cruelty free. So, bummer party there. Alright, what I'm going to do is get a little bit more the foundation. I just have like a little lid that I put my foundation on. Do that again, concealer, whatever you want to use, completely up to you. Grab my concealer brush, and then I just like to just kind of go in here and clean up under that wing. Now, you can of course use tape if you want to. I'm not a big fan of the whole tape method, as I feel like tape is kind of one of those not super environmentally friendly things, but I don't know, I mean, I've been tempted. I have tape, so who knows. It definitely works to get a really crisp line, so I guess if that doesn't bother you, then go for it. But for right now, this is easier and a better way to do it for myself. I know you can also use, like, stencils, I think, or something, but then you have to, like, hold it there, like, drag queen technique or whatever, where you kind of hold the card up. Now, one thing I do, just for myself personally, is you can kind of see, and it honestly is probably just the fat distribution of my face. I don't always like how it looks, kind of, you can see it rounding out, so I kind of try to slice that off. It's a lot better. Heck yeah. Now again, honestly, it really doesn't matter. Does it still look good? Yeah. So, if you like it, I think that is all that should matter. Okay, so now that that is done, I like to set my face. So, of course you can sponge out all the creases under your eyes and all that crap. Just to get everything nice and set and not, freaking out on you. The powder that I'm currently using is flying everywhere. It's the Fenty Beauty Lavender Powder. I just like it. I don't know. I feel like most face powders that I use just really make my skin feel like it's trying to be like a shade darker. I don't know. I feel like this one actually brightens it up. I don't know. You do whatever you want, but that's what I am using. I'm just using, I love these kind of small brushes. This is Morphe E48. And I literally just kind of use it all over. Just to tap. And because I am wearing a full coverage foundation, I do kind of want to set everywhere. I also really like a matte look. I know, so not from this time period, era, decade, whatever. I think it's like, I get hot and like, I don't know, I want to look as put together as I can, I guess. I don't know. So whatever, okay, well. Mainly it's under the eye that you want to do. I'm trying to decide, should I literally might just keep this simple and not put anything under the eye. If you want to, you totally can. Add some more of the shadows, whatever. Just to pizzazz it up. You know what? Screw it. Well, let's do it. Let's pizzazz it up just a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to take Red Velvet again, under the eye. Sorry if you can hear that noise. It is, of course, summer, and I think it's cicadas. I don't know whatever makes that loud noise. It's the time of year for loud things to be out, I guess. This color is literally so beautiful. I guess I could talk a little bit about this palette as I'm kind of, doing this. By far, of the 3 palettes that they have come out with, this would be my favorite. It is literally, probably, again, I guess you'd say it's kind of on the neutral side, slightly. I really like it, though. I unfortunately never filmed it or took photos or anything, but I did, like, a week, I think it was a week long, using just this palette and nothing else, and literally completely obsessed. It, of course, I mean, it's a mixture of 2 things that I love. So, I'm a massive matte eyeshadow person, so the fact that this has a ton of matte eyeshadows in here, 14 and only 2 shimmers, I completely love. Now, what is difficult is when I feel the need to pull in other shimmers, like, this color is okay, and that's where, again, I think it's honestly not bad. It still has great reflection. I just, if you can't tell, I like a more, like, bam, in your face, so that would be my only thing, but I think for people who want a more subtle, because this gold, hello, that's more of that, boom, to me, in your face. But besides that, I love, I think it's such a perfect, almost fall palette, I guess. It's kind of a good anytime palette, but I get the fall vibes completely from this. I know it was going more for coffee kind of idea, coffee shop, but whatever. I don't know if they've kept the same artwork for this palette. If they did, amazing. If not, bummer, because the artwork is gorgeous. But, you know, whatever. I'm happy to have it. But yeah, let's go ahead and blend out my under eyes. I'm just gonna, I think, take the same M433 brush. I should really clean it. You know what? I have a whole tub of clean brushes. Let's pull something from here. We'll just stick with these two, I guess. So, what do we have here? This is the Morphe M456 brush, and then this is one of those fluffier ones, M441 brush. Let's start with the M441 brush first, just to see how we like that. So literally just simply gonna soften it. Now, if you want to, again, why not? Sorry. You know what? Should we do yellow? Let's use this LA Shockwave pencil, the shade Screamin'. Put a little bit of that in the waterline. That adds a little something fun there. Cool. Okay. Let's do our upper eyeliner. The current liner I've been using is Physicians Formula. I've had this for a while. It's the waterproof eye booster, ultra fine, whatever. It's not bad. I've still been looking for kind of one of these eyeliners that doesn't. I literally always have these things, but like they dry out. So this is not a felt tip. This is like a brush tip one. But I mean, it's my favorite, as in the tip is not dried out. Like I literally had Fenty one, and I think within like a week or so, the tip is completely, maybe not a week, that's a joke, but maybe let's even say a month, the tip was completely dried out. And when I would touch like the base of it, completely still like working completely fine, and so it's, I don't know, I was completely annoyed, so I kind of kicked that sucker out of my life. And haven't yet tried another high-end one. I'm really tempted to try the Stila one, and maybe KVD, the Vegan Beauty one. I know that one's popular. I don't know. We'll see. If I'm feeling bougie one of these days. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and curl my lashes real quick. This is just a old Revlon eyelash curler that I've had forever. And then I'm using CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume Mascara. Black, very black, whatever it is. I really do like the kind of spikier ones, but you do you. Again, use whatever you have. I'm not a big lashes person. I really don't tend to use them. I have some. But yeah. It's not super essential in my opinion. I feel like it kind of pulls the look together. Use the same mascara to our lower lashes. And that is pretty much it. Alrighty, so that brings us to the end of today's video, playing with the September Rose Brew eyeshadow palette. I really do hope that you guys enjoy this video. I would love if you gave me a like, comment, and subscribe, and I think that is it. Alright, I will see you guys on my next video. Bye!